Pat on 12 News celebrating a perfect feat. We'll meet a student who has never missed one single class. Then, preventing summer brain drain. See how one school district has gone virtual to keep students sharp. But first,
we have some of the cheapest heroin in the country.
A drug problem and its alarming effects. 12 News starts right now. The Twin Cities Metro is on pace for a record-setting number of heroin overdose deaths, arrests, and emergency room visits.
Today, the Hennepin County Sheriff made a public plea to help combat the problem. Delane Cleveland has more.
I just remember feeling awesome, on top of the world.
Thursday morning at North Memorial Hospital,
I definitely fell in love right away.
29-year-old Amanda told her story about her one-time addiction to heroin and prescription painkillers.
I was actually kind of scared of using heroin, but I did it anyways because it was cheaper. I ended up in debt because of all of it.
Amanda's story has become all too common, which is why she joined an emergency room doctor and Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek in an effort to help combat the growing problem of heroin abuse in Minnesota.
We have some of the cheapest heroin in the country here across the Twin Cities metropolitan area. We also have the highest purity levels of heroin in the United States.
Something that makes the problem even worse is the ease with which people can use the drug.
They can snort it, they can smoke it. It gets into the body by just about any route other than rubbing it on your skin.
Dr. Roberts says that in 2008, Hennepin County saw only 4 deaths from heroin overdose. Last year, that number was 37.
The deaths are often rapid because heroin suppresses respirations. You slip into a coma and you simply stop breathing. If that happens pre-hospital, the chance of death is very high.
As for Amanda, she used to spend $160 a day to feed her drug habit, but eventually she sought help.
I was out of money, I was out of options. That's when I knew I needed a serious treatment program.
Now she hopes other addicts hear her message to seek treatment as well.
It's definitely changed my life.
The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office says that prescription painkillers are gateway drugs to heroin because both are opiate-based. When the supply of painkillers runs out of the home medicine cabinet, the addict turns to heroin, which is less expensive. Police urge people to use county collection sites to dispose of prescription drugs. Mike and Alex?
All right, thanks, Delane. On August 1st, same-sex couples will be able to marry in Minnesota, and today some took the first step towards saying I do.
Couples like these two women who've been together 21 years are now able to start applying for a marriage license in Hennepin County. As of noon on Thursday, about 30 couples had applied for a license in the county. The marriage application no longer reads bride and groom. Now it says first and second applicant. Hennepin County decided to start accepting applications now to avoid a possible backlog on August 1st.
We were really worried that we were going to have a huge rush, huge demand on August 1st. And as you know, both the mayors of St. Paul and Minneapolis have indicated they've made public spaces available for couples as early as midnight on August 1st. And we would really have a difficult time accommodating potentially a large volume of couples.
County service centers at Brookdale, Ridgedale, and Maple Grove are also accepting same-sex marriage license applications.
Bad weather is delaying a big construction project along Highway 169. Resurfacing work was supposed to start Friday night, but the prospect of rain has delayed that now for at least a week. The plan is to close lanes between Golden Valley and Brooklyn Park for 8 weekends. MnDOT says they've been repairing the road for the last 10 years, but now it's so full of holes it needs a complete makeover. Motorists we talked to agreed, but they're not looking forward to the traffic jams that come with making repairs.
And then I hear of this road construction coming up here on the weekends. I'm not too thrilled about it. So I'm gonna have to find my way through town or jump on a bus. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Time I get to 694, there's construction from 694 all the way out to 610. And then you get a little bit past that and there's more construction. So it's time consuming. And I know a lot of motorists that get off work want to get home early, but they're not going to make it home for an hour.
The project is now set to start on June 14th. The other challenge is a separate project to build an overpass in Brooklyn Park. Motorists have been dealing with lane closures there already, and that project runs through November.
Providence Academy is proposing big changes to its athletic facilities. For starters, the football field and track would be relocated slightly to the south. The tennis courts would also be relocated, and in addition, the elevation of the field and track would be lowered. The most notable change is the installation of a nearly 70-foot-high dome over the football field during the winter months. The school is also proposing a new baseball and new softball field. Providence says the recent success of its athletic programs is the primary driver behind the improvements. Another reason is demand for year-round training facilities. Now that school is out, students are thinking summer.
The Anoka-Hennepin School District is aiming to prevent brain drain. Students may be ready to put away books on this last day of school, but the district's summer virtual learning program is about to begin. More than 700 middle school students will get daily lessons in math and reading this summer, which they can do at home. Last year, students in the 5-week program improved or maintained their test scores when they returned to school in the fall.
It's great to see students just kind of keeping their minds open throughout the summer. They might be getting a little bit of pre-learning for next year, and really just to see that they're putting forth some effort and they're not sitting playing video games all day long.
The hour-and-a-half daily lessons are individualized for each student based on their level. Well, today, students found the perfect way to celebrate the last day of school at Zanewood Recreation Center. For the last 4 years, Zanewood has hosted a party like this on the last day of school. Students could walk over after class and play football, bounce around on inflatables, or just dance. Staff members say this is a way to keep kids off the streets and encourage them to connect with the staff at Zanewood.
We are celebrating, and we're celebrating with the youth and teens who just got out of junior high and high school. This is our 4th year implementing an event where on that last day, they walk out those doors, they have somewhere to go to have fun.
The Zanewood Recreation Center now has 5,000 teens as members, and some of those teens will be at Zanewood on Monday when camps kick off for the summer. And we close out the school year with one last student standout.
He is a student from Golden Valley hoping to achieve a rare feat. And later in sports, it's an exciting ending for Maple Grove's state tournament opener in softball.
But first, a check of your AccuWeather forecast.
Very few Boy Scouts ever rise to the level of an Eagle Scout.
The highest rank in Boy Scouts requires earning 21 merit badges plus planning a service project. One Golden Valley Scout is on his way to earning that badge. Reporter Shannon Slatton introduces us to Andrew Birkeland, today's standout student who is a junior at Benilde St. Margaret.
Here's what's gonna happen. If everyone wants to kind of just help and get plants.
You could say Andrew Birkeland
So right in those little openings.
is making his mark.
Some kids are gonna win state titles or become academic 4.0s, but I'm making my mark through service and through Boy Scouts, and I think that's cool. Short is yellow.
This junior at Benilde St. Margaret's wanted a place for his science class to explore.
Now they'll have an area that they can go out and observe nature. That's sedum, I believe.
So Andrew is developing a butterfly garden on campus.
He knows nothing about plants, he knows nothing about butterflies, and there was just something that resonated with him.
Spiderwort's gonna go right here. Bee balm's gonna go right over there with those two.
But Andrew knows quite a bit about plants now. He had to research, plan, and organize the project.
So I'm the head coach and they're kind of the players.
Plus coordinate volunteers.
You're gonna have to read the card and then coordinate it with where it's gonna go.
Andrew's Boy Scout mentors are not surprised by Andrew's initiative or attitude.
Andrew was always very enthusiastic and very motivated to get involved in Scouts and help out others.
When he was a younger scout, that was one of the things I was always amazed in. He was always coming to me and asking questions and wanting to get, work on advancements and stuff like that. And that was exciting.
Let's just get back to work. Thank you so much.
Andrew has discovered
this is fun. It's fun to be in charge.
He might have a knack for spearheading projects that help his community.
We're actually doing a great job on schedule. I've got a lot of great volunteers who've come out to help me. Everyone's got to work hard, but in the end, we're going to get it done today.
In St. Louis Park, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Only 7% of Boy Scouts end up earning the Eagle Scout badge, and if everything goes well, Andrew hopes to receive the badge by the end of this summer. So way to go, Andrew. Well, speaking of standout students, later in the show we'll meet a Maple Grove 6th grader who has one impressive streak still intact.
But first in sports, the Wayzata boys tennis team goes for gold at the state tournament. John Jacobson has highlights up next.
For the second straight year and the third time in the past 4 years, Maple Grove's softball team is in the state tournament. The Crimson is looking to go one better than their runner-up finish of 2012. Maple Grove facing Bloomington Jefferson in the state quarterfinals this morning. Bottom of the first, Sarah Southern grounds a ball through the middle. Jocelyn Rail comes around from second to score, giving the Crimson a 1-0 lead. That lead would hold until the top of the fourth, when Jefferson's Cassie Santiago lines the ball to center under the glove of Abby Bennell. Kendall Fashing is in barely, tying the game at 1. Santiago winds up on second base. Same score, top of the seventh, 2 outs, runner on second. Crimson pitcher Sydney Smith strikes out Lauren Gustafson to end the threat. And that's big because with a runner on third and 2 outs in the bottom of the seventh, Jordan Mock with a single to left brings Bennell home with the game-winning run. Maple Grove wins 2-1. Well, more on the Crimson at State Friday, starting at 4 here on 12 News. After a so-so regular season, Maple Grove's baseball team played very well at playoff time. The Crimson advanced to the Section 5 3A finals, needing to sweep 2 from Coon Rapids to take the title. The Cardinals take an early lead. Anthony Merloza bouncing to second, bobbled. The Crimson get the out. Alex Boxwell scores, though, and it's 2-0 in the first. In the third inning, Boxwell with a short fly ball to the left that drops in despite a diving try by Austin Bees. Tyler Kelm scores on the play, and the Cardinals take the lead 3-1. With the infield in, Merloza grounds one through the right side for a hit. Boxwell scores, and Coon Rapids in command. Maple Grove gets one back in the fourth. Ben Osborne's liner perfectly placed just inside the right field line. Jack Kiebelbeck scores, and the Crimson pull within 4-1. Mistakes haunt the Crimson, though, on the Coon Rapids bunt. The throw to first isn't handled. 2-run score here, and Coon Rapids goes on to win the section title 8-1, the final, the Cardinals going to state. Wayzata's boys tennis team was on a mission. After a couple of runner-up finishes in a row, the Trojans took aim at a Class AA championship against the Lake Conference rival Minnetonka. Dustin Britton of Wayzata in the near court at #1 singles against Joel Richards. After a pair of backhand slice shots by Richards, a strong forehand sets up a leaping volley winner right there for Britton, who wins 6-3, 7-6. Wayzata's receiving serve in the first doubles match. Jack Graven and Steele Kowalczyk each get in on this one. Kowalczyk inside outing a shot for the winner. And they beat Brett Erickson and Blake Farland 6-4, 6-4. Nick Beatty's receiving serve here for the Trojans at #2 singles. Backhand to one quarter, and then a forehand to the other. Sets up an overhead winner. Beatty defeats Parker Duda 7-5, 6-3. Wayzata sweeps the Skippers to win the school's third state title in boys tennis. Maple Grove beat Elk River for third place. Blake beat Breck 6-1 in the Class A state final. Wednesday was a big night for section lacrosse finals. The Wayzata boys were the top seed in Section 8, and they faced Orono in the title game. Second quarter, Trojans down 4-3 until Grant Long, after a nice spin move, deposits the ball in the lower corner. That ties things up. The Trojans, though, down at halftime 5-4. Second half now, fourth quarter, Trojans still down by 1. Brian Mahout, nice give and go finishing it off there. And that ties things at 9. 40 seconds later, Trojans up a man, Alex Sorensen to Mahout. And the Wayzata Trojans are in front 10-9. With 1:12 left, though, Orono's Alex Gross takes it from behind the net, beats Trojans goalie Aaron Peterson to knot things at 10. The game is tied at the end of regulation and in overtime. Gross takes the ball up the left wing, gets by the defender and scores. His fourth of the game, sending Orono to the state tournament for the first time with an 11-10 win. In other section boys finals, Champlain Park wins a thriller, 12-11 in overtime over Blaine to take the Section 7 title. And Totino Grace pulls out a 6-5 win over Mounds View to claim the Section 5 championship. Armstrong's girls entered their Section 5 title game with just one loss. The Falcons in white against Mounds View, and Heather Koluzniak goes to the net and scores. Armstrong just under 4 minutes into the game getting on the board. Callie Reinhardt taking the pass. She attacks, getting the first of her 2 goals. 3-0 Falcons midway through the opening half of play. Haley Holdall, spinning free, scores her second in a row. 6-1 Armstrong at this point. Falcons look like they might pull away. It's 6-3 though at the half. And Mounds View rallies to within 1. Jenna Olson weaves her way to the net to score. The Mustangs within 7-6, and they've got the momentum. But Armstrong regains control. Kaluzniak flips it to Mari Verbatim. She goes in to score to make it 10-6. Armstrong's headed to state for the first time with an 11-8 win. In the Section 7 Girls Championship, Champlin Park upends Coon Rapids 8-5 in the title game. The Rebels girls and boys teams are both headed to state next week. In Section 8, the Maple Grove girls fell short against Elk River. The Elks going to state after a 12-8 win over the Crimson in the final. And let's look at another busy day in sports.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, students look forward to an exciting summer.
Plus, one student and his impressive classroom streak. We'll be right back. A lot of kids will do anything to get a day off from school now and then.
But one Maple Grove 6th grader made a point not to miss a single day. Rush Creek Elementary honored 12-year-old Gavin Pelto for having perfect attendance 7 years in a row. He has never been absent or tardy since starting kindergarten. To do so, he has turned down trips and daytime doctor appointments to reach his goal, but he says he'll probably break the streak in junior high.
Next year, I think I'm not going to do it anymore because I don't think we win, and I don't think they're going to give us anything for it, and I kind of want to go hunting with my dad finally and make up all that time.
Next year, Gavin heads to Maple Grove Junior High, where he might miss a day or two.
I guess so.
Finally, it is the last day of school for many students in our area.
We wanted to see what they'll be up to this summer, and we caught up with 8th graders at Jackson Middle School.
What I'm doing this summer is I will be going to vacation in Florida with my parents and my whole family.
I was just hanging out with friends and like just doing all activities and hanging out with family also and doing what I could do to just have fun.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with my friends, trying to be the best gamer on the block.
I'm participating in a track program, and I'm also looking forward to staying up all night and sleeping all day.
I'm planning on going down to Lacrosse and visit Wisconsin. I got family down there. That's where I'm from.
No school and sleeping in.
It sounds like a common thread. Sleep during the day.
That's right.
Stay up late at night.
Summer, right?
Yeah, remember the last day of school? Exciting, right?
Always exciting.
That'll do it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.